you know how in any class, in any school that you've ever been in, you always say, when am I going to use this? When am I going to use whatever math I'm being taught or English? When do I use commas? You know, things like that. In any case, today, I'm going to go over I probably won't even hit all of them, the tools and skills from nursing school that I actually use. And it's a lot more than you think. And I'm not even a specialist nurse. I'm sure that a specialist nurse in a certain specialty, will use a certain tool a lot more than myself. Number one, a stethoscope. Yes, I use my stethoscope. Now, I don't use mine anymore. My children broke it. I use a stethoscope that isn't mine. I need to get one myself. But yes, stethoscope. Number two, blood pressure cuff. Yes, that's a biggie. Always. Those two kind of go hand in hand. Number three, we're going to go with a glucometer. It tests your blood sugars. You never know. You never know who's a diabetic. You never know who's going to fall out. You know. And also, a lot of times during code situations, they want that blood sugar. They want to know what that blood sugar is. You got to know. Let's go with number four. Let's go with blood draws and IVs. I'm going to kind of include them both in this. I'm going to call it a skill. You learn it in nursing school. You learn how to draw blood and do the IV. They're kind of the same. One pulls, one gives. But in the end, you're putting a catheter, like a tiny little catheter, inside of somebody for the IV, and you're putting a tiny little needle to get blood out for a blood draw. Kind of the same thing, kind of not. I could see the argument in both. But as a skill, you use both. Yes, you're going to do IVs, you're going to do blood draws. You're going to do shots. I know I'm on like number 5 and I just said number 3. But in any case, you're going to do shots. Now, I will say, I have not done the Z-Track method outside of school. If you don't know the Z-Track, you kind of do a Z, you push in. Iron is the one that I know of, and then you let the Z out so that it doesn't flow back out of the muscle that you just did it in. I've never used it. I've also never given iron IM before. I've only given iron PO, so I've never used the Z-Track. I'm sure that people have used Z-Track, but Sub-Q and IM, I've used both of those. Intradermally, like a TB test. You use your shot skills. You do use your shot skills. Time management. I'm going to call it a tool. I'm going to call it a skill. Yes, I use time management all day, every day. That's work. Time management. Shoot, you use time management all the time. So I got off on a tangent. Yes, time management. Yes, use it. Let's say that little rubber hammer thing. I can't think of the name of it right now, and I'm sorry. We were taught how to use one in nursing school, and I have not used one since nursing school. Also, I'm not in a specialty. I'm a specialist nurse. Maybe wound care may use one. A neuro nurse, a nurse in say a stroke unit. I'm not. But a neuro nurse would probably use one of those quite often, because you wouldn't believe the reflexes that are actually connected to neurological effects. That's actually true. I've never used one. I have seen them use, and I didn't use it, but it was on my unit, up the back of the foot one time, for the, I can't remember the name of that thing where your toes will curl in or they'll fan out. And it depends on which one they do as to if you have or have not had a stroke. But they run the little rubber hammer up the bottom of your foot, or they'll take like a tongue depressor and run it up the back of your foot to see if your toes will fan out or curl up. If you remember the name of that, let me know. I'm driving and I can't think of it right now. If you remember it, let me know. An otoscope. Another one is an otoscope. I have one. Yes, I use it with my children. I don't use it. I don't use it at work. I've never used one as a nurse other than on my children to see, are your ears infected or do you got something in there? I know the basics of how to use one. I was taught how to use one in nursing school. I don't at work. I never have at work, but I do at home and I do have one. So I kind of know how to do it. The fundamentals, I'll say. I know the fundamentals. Don't really use that. EKG, we're going to call it a tool. The little things that go on your chest, they can go down your legs and on your arms, and they read your heartbeat. The PQRS wave, PQRST. Anyways, I have used one. Yes, like once, outside of work, or inside of work. Outside of nursing school, I've used one time, and I really think that I got to use it for training purposes. It was sort of like a check-off list at work one time. I don't really use that one a lot, but I'm also not a specialist. Cardiac nurse, ICU nurses, they will probably use those quite a bit. I don't. Telemetry, I have used. Telemetry is different than the EKG. Telemetry is let's say a more basic form. It's not quite as in depth as the EKG. Yes, telemetry, yes, used it. But not, like I said, the EKG was like once, and that was it. Let's see, what else have we used or not used? Sterile procedure, I don't know if I said that yet. Sterile procedure, I'm gonna include that for a vast array of things. Wound care, catheters, a vast array. Yes, I have used sterile procedure. Stay sterile. Yes, done sterile procedure quite a bit. And if you don't know what you're doing, always get a spotter. Always get a spotter anyways, because you never know if your elbow is going to bump something. If you turn your back on it, it's actually not sterile anymore. Didn't know if you know that. NG tubes. Learned that in nursing school. I have used one, I'm going to say 3 times. I have done it. Yes, I don't. Once again, I'm not in a specialty. So not really. If you're in, say, GI, you'll probably use one. Like I said, I have not. It's just not something that I have and have not used. Like I said, I'm not in a specialty. And there's not really any other tools that we learn in nursing school. Nursing school, you get like a broad spectrum. And I use what I've mentioned, and I know there's a few more that I haven't mentioned that I don't use. If you can think of things that you do or do not use that I have or have not mentioned, let me know. Maybe I did learn about it in nursing school and I forgot about it. Maybe I do actually use it and forgot that I realized that I do use it. In any case, thanks for watching. Hope it helps. Bye.